Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, then yes, it's normal that I'm sitting on the floor. This is what I tend to do when I'm talking to you guys. If you are coming back to my channel, if you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and hit that and hit the notification bell so you get notified when I put new videos out there. So today I'm going to talk about how I manifested my husband. And this is a really interesting topic. Law of attraction is to me, and I do get a lot of emails asking me questions about law of attraction type things. Even when I'm doing readings for you guys, a lot of the questions that I receive are about how to manifest things or how to make things happen in your life. So I thought that I would try to take our very long story and condense it down just to give you some inspiration. And I do have some tips that I'm going to talk about as well. I'm going to try to give you just the important points of our story and the really cool things that happen, but we've been together for a long time, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this short, but I will try. So when I was 12 years old, the thing to do was to go to the mall. And I would go get dropped off at the mall, walk around with my friends, not really shop, just there to be there and walk around and stuff. And back in those days, we had a store at my mall called Babbage's. And it was a computer game store and like a Nintendo games, all of those video game store. It's like a GameStop, but like before GameStop existed. There was a guy that worked at Babbage's who had these very high cheekbones and like striking green eyes, and he had very long black hair, like Native American looking dude. He was much older than me and not at all interested in a 12-year-old with braces and cross-color shorts on, but I would always walk by Babbage's, and it was next to Hot Topic, which is usually where I was saying that I was going. But I would kind of like linger around Babbage's and just kind of look at him and check him out. And I would sometimes, as you do when you're 12 years old, think about, wouldn't that be cool if he was, you know, my boyfriend or whatever. And then he also, sometimes my friends and I would see him, the guy with the long hair, and his girlfriend who had similar very long dark hair, walking around the mall, and we would sort of like walk around behind them and just sort of giggle, as you do when you're a young kid, and just being silly, and like we would joke about them being vampires and stuff like that. I remember thinking a couple of times, like, you know, wish he would notice me or whatever, but didn't put too much into it. I just had fun, and I looked forward to going to the mall and going by Babbage's and seeing this really, what I thought was like a really beautiful guy. But 12 years old, you know, you have crushes on a lot of people. I had a crush on Kevin Costner. I still do. But I didn't, you know, whatever. It was what it was for a 12 or 13-year-old me. Anyway, I grew up, as you do, went through high school, went through college, moved away, had my very first major relationship, moved out of state, about 6 or 7 hours driving from everything I'd ever known, and was in that for a while. 7 or 8 years, and after that I moved back home. It didn't work out. That's okay. I moved back home, so now I'm 25, 26 years old and on MySpace, and you know, not feeling great about myself. I did have to go through a time of sort of, I was going to say reconfiguring, figuring out who I was again. Without this thing that had been my identity for so long, and in this place that, even though it was home, it felt really foreign to me now because I had lived in the other place for 7 or 8 years, and it culturally was very different. The lifestyle was different. I felt very free there, where I felt sort of trapped coming back here. So I was in mourning over a couple of things, and so I wasn't eating right, and I was sleeping all day, and I got up one day and just decided, this is not what I want for my life. I've got to do better. So, you know, grief is heavy and it's suffocating, and eventually you have a drive, a need to come out of that and take a deep breath and be in the sunshine, and that's kind of what happened to me, or for me. So I started walking and running outdoors a little bit, and I started reconnecting with friends, and so I was on MySpace. MySpace was like Facebook before there was Facebook, and just connecting with friends. And I had some friends that, like, we had mutual friends, so there were people that I would talk to that didn't necessarily know them, but they knew some of the people that I knew. You know how that stuff goes. I went to a skateboard competition because why not? I haven't been to a skateboard competition in my life. Don't even know what that's like or what it looks like. But it sounds fun, and I want to get out of the house. So I go to this thing. There's a guy there. He's very handsome, but he's not my type at all. He's got ear gauges, and his eyebrows, I think, were pierced. He had one of these septum piercing. I think that's what it's called. Really big one, like looked like the bull piercing. I don't remember if his chin was also pierced. I'm talking about like tattoos, all black. He was one of the skaters, and I liked him immediately, like instantly. And we chatted a little bit, but you know, I wasn't in a place where I was looking for anything. But we did exchange phone numbers and text a little bit, and it came a day when we decided to have lunch together. Had such a good time, smiled the whole time. I smiled so hard. I think we ended up having like a 3-hour lunch and just talking, and we had a lot more in common than I thought, and he was a lot different than what I thought just by looking at him. And I think that I was different than what he thought just by looking at me, because I was like, where I was dressed like super preppy and stuff at the time, a lot of pink. Wore a lot of pink. And he was just totally different than what I thought. He was very soft-spoken and very kind and very intelligent, which is not what I thought when I looked at him. But he had been through a bad breakup and wasn't looking for anything serious, and I wasn't looking for anything serious. Not anything casual either, that's not what I'm saying, but just a friend that we could like hang out and talk and laugh together. And I really enjoyed my time with him. So we would text back and forth and hang out a little bit, and things got more serious. Of course, as they do. I started having feelings for him, and he started having feelings for me. And I remember being downtown one night at a bar and saying too much after some drinks, as you do. And we went outside, and I kind of was like, look, I need to know what this is, because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time, but I'm starting to like feel things for you, and I like you. So, you know, what do you think? And he liked me too, but his thing was like not wanting to get his heart broken again, which I totally understood. And he was like, look, I can't commit to anything. I don't even want to like call you my girlfriend or be called your boyfriend, because I just don't know where I'm at with all that. And I was fine with that, but that's okay. But that means we're not going to hang out anymore. I'm not going to break my own heart. Like, that's just not where I'm at. That's not where I want to be. I'm going to move forward with my life and build something. So if you're not a part of that, that's okay, and namaste, and I wish you well, and, you know, fine. But in that moment, I was really able to let go of the whole thing. So he drove me home, and no hard feelings, and I was getting ready for bed that night, and I got a text message from him, and he said, I guess he had thought about it driving home to his house, that, like, he didn't want to be without me. Like, if the choice is be with me and have some kind of commitment, or let's see where it goes conversation, or be without me, he chose to be with me. He said, I want to be with you. And I texted him back, and I said, forever, ? Half joking, but half serious. And he texted back that he was outside. So I went outside on the driveway, and he was already standing there, and I remember, like, it was like this movie quality moment, like clear sky, and the crickets were very, very loud. It was really dark outside. The moon, you know, imagine a full moon over us. And I just hugged him, and he hugged me, and I swear music was playing, and it was wonderful. Okay, so we decided to date. He's not going to see other people, which he was kind of doing, but I knew about it. He was very open and honest, and I didn't care, because I didn't feel like this was going to go anywhere. We were just hanging out and having fun. So when we got to where, like, we're committed, he put all those other things aside. We dated for a while. At this time, I had a good job now. You know, I'm running, I'm doing things for myself. I was feeling really good about myself. So then this wonderful thing happened, and there were bumps a little bit along the way, but like I said, I'm trying to make the story condensed for you. So we dated for a while. We ended up moving in together, and I remember being in the bedroom and going through this box. He had a box of like old pictures like this, right? So I'm going through these pictures, and it's pictures of him, and he had a daughter from a previous relationship, so pictures of his daughter, and, like, you know, asking questions, because when you like somebody, when you're first in love with somebody, you want to devour them. You want to know everything about them, and that's how I was with him. So tell me about this, tell me stories about this, show me the music you like and the movies that you like and all of that stuff. So I'm looking through his pictures, and I have goosebumps all over me right now just telling you. I pulled out this one picture, and it's the guy from Babbage's. Like exactly like I remember him, but I didn't remember him until that moment. I was like, this is the guy from Babbage's. He had the cheekbones and the green eyes and the very long hair. And he said, my then boyfriend, but now husband, said, oh yeah, I used to work at Babbage's around, the years, blah, blah, blah. Now he's older than me, so when I was 12 walking through the mall, he was 19 working at the mall. Didn't know that because I didn't know him, and I didn't even ever put together that was him. It hadn't come up in all of our long conversations. It's just not something we ever talked about. I didn't know at this time he had very short hair, so I didn't know that he ever had really long hair. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're the guy. You're the guy from Babbage's. You're the guy that I used to walk behind you and call you and your girlfriend vampires. So as we talked about this and laughed about this, and I was just floored. I was completely dumbfounded. I didn't know anything at the time about law of attraction or anything like that. Never heard of it. Just no clue at all. So this was the most amazing thing to me, that you're that guy that I used to say, like, wouldn't it be cool if I could date him, and he's so handsome and, love his hair and whatever. So we talked about our stories, and I told him about, the relationship and all the things that I had done in the years since I was 12, basically. And he told me about the things that he had done. And just like I had moved away, he had moved away. I had gone to Florida. He had gone to Texas with that girl with the long hair at the mall and tried to make a life out there. And, things didn't work out. And now here he's back where I am. And he had gone through another bad breakup around the same time that I was going through mine. And then he had that time, 6 or 7 or 8 months of reconnecting to himself and reconnecting to his friends, and the MySpace thing and the skate thing, like all of that was the same for him. And long story short, we ended up getting married and we ended up having kids. Those are two things that I never really thought that was going to happen for me, because I'm a child of divorce and I know how that feels, and I never wanted to even risk doing that to somebody else. For me, it was not a good upbringing, so I never wanted to do that to a child if I could help it. So I never wanted to have kids. However, this guy is amazing. He is my soulmate. And I remember after we had committed, I think it was before we were married, but I had fallen asleep and I had this dream that this Native American, like a shaman, opened up a door like to his home, and he let us into his home. And I saw this whole like big display, lots of different types of picture frames, some really fancy, some really simple. And in each picture frame was a picture of me and my husband from a different time period, from a different era. So there's us in black and white Victorian, and there's us in like the 50s, things like that. And I didn't say anything. I just looked at the Native American, and he said, you have been together for 1,000 lifetimes, and you will be together for 1,000 more. I still get emotional. It was the most profound dream. And I knew that it was true. Even though I was in a dream, I knew that it was true. It just took us a while to find each other. So I say all of that to say, these are some tips that I have for you. I'm going to point out some things that I did when I didn't even know that I was doing anything law of attraction. This is how I know that it works, because before I was aware of it, it was happening in my life. It was working out for me in a much greater way than I could even imagine it happening. And there were things that I did to help it along, to help it become realized. Okay, first thing is to set an intention with joy. A lot of people say set an intention. I don't hear a lot of people say set it with joy or set it with play. And I was 12 years old, so joy and play were something that were a part of my life at the time, so it was very easy for me to set an intention, to say, wouldn't it be cool if, and then laugh about it. Set your intention with joy and with play, okay? Number 2, let it go. Let it go. Once you put it out there, I don't believe that you need to focus. I don't believe that you need to write it down 100 times in a notebook. I don't think that it should be the thing that you're thinking about all the time. Put it out there with good emotion, with play, with joy. Let it go. Number 3, I have asterisks next to this, because this, for me, in my opinion, is the most important step. Work on yourself. Do your own growth, okay? Follow your own path. So for me, that looked like being in this whole other relationship and having my heart broken and growing and learning and going to college and having certain types of jobs and just living life as you do. And for him, Same kind of thing, certain type of job, and being in this new place that was culturally different to what he had known. And growing up, basically, we were growing up, and now I can see that we were growing up in order to be at a certain level when we came back into contact with each other. Because the whole time that I was over here and he was over here, we were orbiting each other. We did have mutual friends. We even, like, I don't know how we didn't at least talk or meet any time during that period that we were apart. It was almost 15 years that, you know, between me having a crush on him at the mall and me meeting him in real life. About 15 years. And what I was doing in that time had nothing to do with him, and he did not come to mind. What he was doing in that time had nothing to do with me, and he was not even aware of me, so I didn't come to mind, okay? And when we met back up, we were completely different people. And I don't really think that we could have been together if we had tried to be together at any other point, okay? We were ready for each other at the time that we met, and that's what's extraordinary to me. That brings me to number 4, which is trust the timing. Trust the timing of the universe. Trust that there's a plan for you. So many times we really want to like manifest something, say the affirmation or set the intention today, receive the thing tomorrow. And that's not how it works, and you would not be happy with the things that you have in your life if that was how it worked, okay? Things need time to grow. They need time to be put in the right place for you. You need time to grow, for things to come back around exactly like they're supposed to. So especially if you are wondering or thinking or discouraged about manifesting a specific person in your life or a specific situation with that person, please trust the timing. Just because you're not seeing it with your physical eyes doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen, and there are reasons for that that you can't know or understand at this time, okay? So my husband and I have been together for 11 years. We've been married for 11 years. We've been together for a lot longer than that, like 15 years, but we've been married for 11 years coming up in May. We have 2 beautiful sons, and he has a daughter from a previous marriage, so I have a bonus daughter. He is a Taurus. He's very grounded. He's very earthy. He's very stable. I am a Pisces. I'm very spiritual. I'm up in the clouds. I'm very emotionally all over the place. And we balance each other out, and we give our kids sort of both of those things. And there are so many good things about our relationship, and a lot of it comes from the things that he was doing when I was unaware of him, and the things that I went through when he was unaware of me, okay? So I married the guy that I had a crush on when I was 12. And I would walk past him and be like, he's so cute, you know, I wish he was my boyfriend. And I do feel like I manifested that, and I did not know, like the whole time we were dating, I had no idea that was him until I saw that picture. And I was like, oh my God, you're him. The universe knows what it's doing, and I just really want you to know that. I cry in like all my videos, guys. I'm so emotional. But this is such a big deal. I wanted to share my fun story with you, but I also wanted to encourage you that things happen better, they happen more, they happen bigger when you're able to let go of them and when you're able to work on yourself, okay? If you'll just give that thing to the universe and say, you know, I would love to have this, and then go and work on yourself. Read a book, learn a language, you know, fix the things that need fixing. Don't put any pressure on it. Don't put any pressure on yourself. Trust the timing. These things will begin to show up in your life. Now, I'm thinking for most of you, it's not going to take the amount of time that it took for me, but for me, that was the right amount of time. I was super immature. I was super guarded. There was a lot I didn't know about life. There was a lot that I had to go through and learn and figure out before I could be the partner that he needed me to be, and the same with him. So I manifested my husband. I married the guy with the long hair from the computer store that I had a crush on when I was 12 years old, and we came back around to each other when I was 26 years old, and I didn't know it was him, but I liked him right away. Like, it was electric spark connection. But so yeah, I manifested my husband accidentally without having any knowledge of law of attraction or the universe or how any of those things work. And that for me is proof and confirmation that they work no matter what, and they work whether you believe in them or not, and they work for our highest good always. So I hope that you've been encouraged by my story. If you liked it, leave me a thumbs up. If you have a similar story about your partner manifesting a relationship, please leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this video. I'll be sure to post more like it if you liked it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.